Now back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Gaston's White River Resort, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Barton Power Sports.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790, and we're going to close out today's show. Been talking
fastest hour and a half on radio.
Hour and a half on radio. Our 16th year. Greg Ratliff is our show producer. Couldn't do it without Greg pushing all the buttons. This is not
pointing the finger.
Yeah, well, just don't go into that. He's telling me how many minutes I got left. But this is normally open mic Saturday, but we're not doing it because I got to get out of here and get to my high school reunion. Gene Smith has got to get out to the YHEC, the Youth Hunter Education Challenge out in Oakland.
And I got a trap shoot.
And Dave Gabbard's got to go to a trap shoot.
I got to go empty some shotgun shells.
Yeah, and then Guy Trebo's got to get out of here and get to work or do fish or do something like that. Hey, we have a special guest, and all of a sudden, last night I said, well, let me, this is Saturday morning. I talked to her earlier in the week, and I said, this is a long shot. But I've recently, one good thing about Facebook is you can really hook up with people that you haven't seen in a long time, have great memories. And one of those persons is Geneann Reynolds. And, of course, what do I need? I don't need to say anything more when I say the name Reynolds. Exactly. Because when you talk about fishing rodeos, when I followed the great Henry Reynolds in April of 1988, and it was hard to follow a man that had been at the newspaper over 40 years, and they gave him a car and all these other kind of things. He knew governors and, those kind of things. But we're privileged to have Geneann with us this morning. Good morning, Geneann.
Good morning, Larry. How are you?
I am doing great talking to you. And fishing rodeos with your dad, I know passed away 21 years ago, and I this coming November, and I had the wonderful opportunity to speak at his funeral. But he really, between your dad and your mom, fishing rodeos was really something, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. I can remember it from when I was just little.
Uh-huh. I mean, because
6 years old.
6 years old, okay, and you were probably at either Rainbow, I don't know all these lakes. We ended up at Ray Deaton Lake.
They started at Riverside. That old Riverside Park.
Yes. So give a memory from the family of the Reynolds about the fishing rodeo.
Well, I remember Dad rushing around so much he'd wreck cars.
Yeah, he would. Yeah.
But they started the fishing rodeo. Bob Payne started the fishing rodeo.
That's right. Yeah.
And Bob was a very, very close friend of Dad's.
Uh-huh.
And he passed away quite early in life from a heart attack. And they started over at Riverside Park.
All right.
And it was such a neat little park. And then after years of Memphis moving things around, that's when they moved out to Audubon Park.
Yeah.
And that's when I remember the fishing rodeo last was at Audubon Park. But as a little kid, I loved to see all the prizes come in.
Oh yeah.
And I couldn't understand why I couldn't get those prizes.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you one good one. When my daughter, who is going to be 40 next week, she was down there fishing when she was 7, I think, and she was leading the rodeo.
Uh-oh.
And Dad was just sweating. Well, she can't win that rodeo. She can't win the rodeo. And my brother, who you guys all knew, but Buddy, he said, Dad, if she wins it fair and square.
That's right. Yeah. And
but Dad was just having a fit that she was going to win that rodeo.
I remember that.
Yeah. Gene Smith, of course, you remember Gene Smith. We had Little Gene and Big Gene.
Yeah.
And we had so many volunteers. I want you to know that Eddie Spencer is still living, Geneann, and he comes to the rodeo. He's 94 now or something like that.
Oh, my gosh.
And he shows up with his net and wearing his World War II uniform. And he'll be there next Saturday when we continue this tradition. I mean, when I took that thing over, I said, Henry, would you keep running this thing? Because this is 3 days, 2,000 kids gathering prizes.
A lot of work.
A lot of work. 5 sessions, y'all. Listen to these people out there. 5 sessions of 2.5 hours each. And by the end of that rodeo, I was too tired to write a story. But, a lot of times Henry would let me – I wrote the story. I covered that rodeo when Henry was directing it because I loved it, and that was one of my passions to be out there. And so when I followed Henry – and he set me aside and said, don't try to be me. Just be yourself. And I said, Henry, I ain't got near as big a feet as you do.
Yeah.
And there's
my kids fished in the rodeo. I fished in the rodeo.
Yes, yeah.
And then my kids fished in the rodeo. And if you believe it or not, like I said, Jennifer will be 40 next week, and Andy will be 42 in August.
I can't believe that. No.
Yeah,
all of y'all are still kids. I mean, it's just and tell our listeners where you live now and give a little update on your mom.
Okay, I live in Piedmont, South Dakota, which is right in between Rapid City and Sturgis. And my mother lives in Sturgis. She has an apartment in Sturgis. She'll be 91 in August, so it's lucky we still have her with us.
Yes. Well, Geneann, I thank you for taking time to be with us, and now we can connect with one another. And again, like I say, and I told you that I would never. I was a long shot to be outdoor editor. When I went in there and applied, he said, "Well, you've been covering high schools 21 years. What do you know about the outdoors?" I said, I don't know a lot, but I've been mentored by Al Dunning and Henry Reynolds, and that says enough. And and so Henry, I think he was glad I took it because we had such a great relationship. And like I said, when you think about it, I was only the 4th outdoor editor in 100 years at the paper. You know that?
I know. I know.
And they don't have the title anymore after I retired, 15 years ago. But Geneann, thank you.
Right.
Give your mom a hug and just stay in touch with us, and we're going to stay in touch with you. But I think we wanted to close this show with the Henry S. Reynolds connection.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, tell everybody hi, Larry.
I sure will, and you take it easy, and we'll talk again, okay? Have a great day.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Larry.
All right.
Yeah, I won't
Geneann Reynolds.
I won't divulge my wife's age, but she caught her fish.
I wanted you to tell that. Yeah.
And when the fishing rodeo was at Ottoman Park.
Yes.
Yeah, my wife caught one when it was in Riverside Park.
But I was going through some files, so I got a big folder of Henry's.
Oh yeah, I got a lot of folders.
Folder of his articles and stuff.
I'd like to see that sometime.
And I even got a few of Larry Ray.
Yeah, I
stuck in there.
Yeah, I was there. A young Larry Ray. Yeah.
The funny thing, I was going through one of them, and I flipped it over. I remember it that on the back of it was the automotive section.
Automotive section,
and the used cars, and it said, and this was in 1968, for sale.
Yeah, for sale.
1957.
Yes.
Chevrolet.
That's a great
Bel
car.
Air.
Great car.
2-door coupe.
Oh, great car.
Good condition.
Yeah. How much?
$475.
$475. $475.
Boy, I'd like to have a yard full of those taken to auction.
Well, I know when the paper had the 50th anniversary of the rodeo, we brought in as many winners as we could, and we brought in the first winner, which was her name was Wynn Wright. Now she's married to Coach Larry Wright, and she was the first winner of the rodeo, and it's just it was over 60,000 kids in that rodeo.
It's unreal.
And I was completely 5 sessions. Can you imagine doing that?
But I've never seen Henry get nervous. He was always so calm. Jean, now she was kind of excitable, but I never seen Henry get really nervous about it.
No,
he just had it under control.
He had it under control, and one of the best parts was going down to the candy shop. Going down there and going through that candy shop and getting all this candy to give to the kids. I mean, it was like, then it was like we had bubble gum and all this stuff, and because you went around and gave it to all the kids.
Buckets of candy. Yeah, we get
buckets of candy. And I know you people out there have probably got fishing rodeo stories.
Exactly.
Yeah. Email them to me, LROutdoors@att.net. If you've got a fishing rodeo story, email it to me. I'd like to hear it, and we'll post it on the website. Guy can come up with some unbelievable type stuff and switch it over to Guy. What you going? I want to close it out with Guy.
Okay. Well, I was talking about the website. The something I told you the other day. You know, Henry and you when you press them. You always had a wildlife recipe.
You say press seminar.
I said the commercial appeal.
Okay.
You said press seminar.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Go ahead. All right.
There at the commercial appeal. Y'all always had a wildlife recipe in there.
Now
my mom's 90. You know, in the 90s. She handed me an envelope the other day, real thick. She cut the other recipes out.
She had all the recipes?
So I'm thinking about maybe we can put one of those on the website every now and then, depending on the season.
We could do that, can't we, Guy?
Yes, absolutely.
What we got going on the website, Guy?
I don't know, Larry. Why?
Kim Rohde's coming to this show. I know that.
Kim Rohde, you know the Olympics are going to be in Rio, and there are so many sports in the Olympics that I know nothing about, and quite frankly, a lot of them I don't even care about. But when it comes time for the Olympics, it's just the USA and the competition itself. It just gets so exciting. And you have a guest, Kim Rohde, who has been great for this show.
That's right. Yeah.
She is the best ever at what she does, and she's won how many?
6. 5 or 6.
She's still going.
Still going to 5 or 6 Olympics. I don't know how many goals she won.
I don't care what it is. If it's competition, if you can go up against the best in the world in any kind of sport, and do what she has done, it is phenomenal. So to have that woman on this show as a guest as many times as we have is great, and she's coming back on
June the 18th. And when you go to the website, she's going to pop up on the screen, and you need to duck because she's shooting at you. I mean, he's got it set up. It's cool.
Great picture.
A great picture of her.
She's coming right out of the screen at you, but that's a great guest. And, of course, Katuna Lorig, who she's almost – I think she's one match away.
Yeah, she's one match away from qualifying, and we're going to get her back on, too. So,
she's great. You can see her in one of the new Bridgestone tire commercials, too.
Yes, so, it's a cool thing. So we've got all the website is being continually updated, lroutdoors.com. It almost went away from me for a minute there. I had to think a little bit. That's really tough. And Guy is the webmaster, and if you need somebody to put together your website, I highly recommend Guy Trebo. Just go to lroutdoors.com, see all the information. I guarantee you no one has as much information on their website in the outdoors in this area than Guy Trebo and lroutdoors.com. All the information you can get. Thank you, Guy, for being here.
Thank you.
Gene Smith, in your camo outfits over there, thank you.
Yeah, like I said, Mom dressed us, together, kind of alike today.
I could have worn mine, but I don't look as good as y'all do. I've got on mine.
I'm glad you can see us. We're camos.
Who are you again? Hey, next week's show, Ron Wong will be here, all fishing again. Ron Wong talking about fishing, and we got a surprise guest on next week's show. I'm not even going to tell Guy about it for a while here. We'll be. I'll start saying we'll be right back. We don't need any 30 more minutes, do we? Thank you, Greg Ratliff, for taking care of us. Until next week, this is Larry Ray. Remind you, do each and every week. It doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport, and God bless the USA.
You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry.